Hello, everybody. Tonight, my name is Lou Jensen, and this is the weekly gathering of the I&E Network. We've been getting together for about 7 years now, and we're a bunch of hobbyists going towards professional business enterprise. We've been started and funded and promoted by a company called Profitable Hobbies for over 30 years. We sell high-speed engraving and micro sandblasting and commercial airbrushing programs to try and have someone figure out how to take a great hobby, get it up and running to the point that you can then retire and play with that full time. We got some incredible success stories in our 30 years, and so it's been a lot of fun to participate with it. And if you're looking for a great way to retire, we've got just exactly that. I wanted to start out the show tonight a little bit and talk about something fun, because what we're trying to do is take social media and wrestle it into a format that will work better for us. And everyone who's participating, especially in the film strip tonight and those over on YouTube, are beginning to figure it out. We're getting more and more involved, and it really is, it's just amazing how this whole thing works. If you realize that what Google does is their algorithms track everything you do on the internet. When you're on the internet, those algorithms are tracking where you're going, what you're looking at, and what you're involved with. And over a period of time, they start to develop an interest level, a pattern level of things that you like and that you prefer. So as a tool to help you do and succeed as a business, what you put up on Google Plus and post is all they can read as to who you are and what it is you do. They call it authorship. Now, I've started a 7-step program from amateur gradually up to a master, and in this I&E network. And the idea of the master in our program is doing well in the marketplace as well as doing well with the technology. So how to make it and how to market it, which is not usually a part of most hobby kind of programs. And we come at it with such unusual concepts and ideas that it gives you a fairly exclusive upper hand in the marketplace when you can do some of these things. We had Jose on last night. I don't see him jumping in here yet tonight, but Valencia started with me a number of years ago, has made every move, every step. He's one of the best students I've ever had, and moved himself into a position now where he's had as much as $9,000 and $10,000 months, and then now he's got these big projects for his customer in Texas. So 2015 going to be an incredibly good year for Jose. And I think most people step back and say, well, that's an accident. And I'm going to try and reiterate again, this is not an accident. How your life goes depends on how you do things. The only quote in my life that I have so far is the miracle's in the doing. And everybody wants a miracle in their life, have that money problem taken off their shoulders, or get to the card that I think is the most valuable card in the world, is the control of your personal time. And so you'd say, well, are those easy things to accomplish, or are they somewhat of a challenge? And over this last few years, when we started playing with Google Plus, I kind of zeroed in on what I call Success Mountain. Doing well with your life is always a bit of a discipline, always has a bit of challenge to it, sometimes more than others. And so if your life's going downhill and easy, I'm betting you're on the wrong path, because it just almost never is. I was talking with a friend of mine today and discussing how challenging life can be. And the older you get, the more that challenge seems to be a huge bottom line underneath everything. Just can't work as hard as we used to, and I'm getting forgetful as hell, and all those kinds of things that make it even more difficult to try and accomplish something. But the biggest thing in my world and in my life is the planning process of being, here's where you are, make a decision to where you want to be, and then figure out how to connect the dots. How can I get my life from here to here? And what would better be for you? Now, what's wonderful for one person might not be for another. And so what those issues are what you're targeting, what you're after, seem to me to be somewhat challenging. What I've done is look for clues from other people's lives, things that I saw in other people's lives and how they lived were then became the target of how I wanted to live. And that process of ordinary to extraordinary to me is a transformation. Number one word in the marketplace is transformation. And it really determines how a person goes from one spot to the next, is this transformation process. Without a pattern, without a plan, I don't expect it to succeed. What needs to happen is this really gradual, careful process of, I was here, but look where I am now. Now, one of the funnest things that happened on the stream today, to kind of give you a little indication of what I think is going on. Maria Herod from Denmark posted a vase, a wooden carved vase from Nari Saffron. And I know for a fact she has no clue who this person is. Just out of the blue, for whatever reason, she was putting up quite a few things in her stream today of vases and artwork and vases like that. But she found Nari's stuff, and it's actually Naridi, as we call it. And then Ron reposted it and made a comment, and then it came back down through, and I don't remember that you said a whole lot about him, but I wanted to announce to all of you tonight that I helped Nari get started. Years ago, a friend of mine from here in Utah was in our media installing the national telephone system. And he found Nari's work at a local flea market kind of thing. And he was just starting out, and he had bought 4 pieces from him and brought them home. And this guy's wife has our system, and she knew me. And so Steve came down and brought his stuff down and says, what have I got here? And his early pieces, not as magnificent as the one that was posted today, but still, he has that look that's penetrated. The carving is just all the way through. If you guys didn't see that picture today, we got to repost that tomorrow, Ron. Pick that up and run it back down through the stream. Let's make sure everybody gets to see Nari's stuff now, because those pieces now are about 50 grand a piece. And when Nari started out, I sold his first 4 pieces for $10,000 in Park City. And he was selling them like for a couple $100 a piece, and I sold all 4 pieces for 10, and we sent him the money. And when I called him to talk to him on the phone, you thought he'd died and gone to heaven and won the lottery on top of it. He was just clear off his nut that he had gotten that much money for what he considered a craft. Now, from that point forward for Naridi, he came here. Doc and Dee McNeely had a training center in Las Vegas for a long time. And they are the U.S. couple that sponsored Naridi and his 4 children to come to the U.S. And he came over and spent quite a bit of time and tried to find a way to get things going and have his life work out, and he couldn't keep things together. He went back home again, and then he's turned around and come back a second time. The second trip over here, he got clear to Chicago with all his clearance and all his passports and everything, and in Chicago they turned him around and sent him clear back to Armenia. So if you want to talk about somebody that's really struggled, he's got all the talent in the world. I have never seen anybody with more ability. I took him up to meet Greg Woodard. Greg Woodard's the one person he wanted to meet, because Greg had won the World Championship in Ocean City in 1992 or 3, I think. And he wanted to meet Greg. So we drove up to Greg's place, to Greg's studio. And here's a guy who can't speak a word of English, but oh my God, did those two hit it off. And Greg was so good with him. Greg was just as excited about his kind of work as Naridi was of Greg's work. And those kinds of little moments, those little helps along the way, are what I live for now. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes it's just a bugger of a challenge to make things light up for you. The marketplace is not an easy thing to crack, but I maintain the persistent person is still the one that succeeds. Always. If you just flat won't give up, you've got at least a chance. The only failure in life is when you quit and walk away. I've got some good news, Ed Sables. You've got a package that got shipped out to you today. It is on its way and will be on your doorstep fairly soon now. I guess they can get it to you in a day or two. I've shipped Ed some samples of things that I've used to help launch, you bet, sir, to help launch my business with fundraising at universities. And I'm going to get on private hangouts with Ed and teach him how to use these samples. You've got a catalog, a new product catalog, and these samples, and then a letter in there with it, and then we'll get together and start showing you exactly what to do and how to approach this kind of business, because to me it's the next area I would like to see developed. Very few go after this kind of money. I call it the thank you business. And every major organization, nonprofit organization out there around you has to raise money every year. And they generally have a funny split. 20% of their database are the ones that provide 80% of the money. And so I start having them target the thank yous to that narrow little wealthy 20% group. And a piece of crystal as a thank you is a drop-dead great way to do that. And I've talked to several big schools and organizations, BYU and the University and Boy Scouts of America, the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, the governor of Utah, several big entities who have those constant little thank yous coming across their plate because they generally forget to do a decent thank you for somebody that's made a major donation. So what we'll do now is kind of nudge that a little bit, and this year in 2015, one of the things that I'm quite determined is to help each of the masters package who they are and what it is they've done with getting from amateur to a master of something, and how that little process actually works, because everyone's process of going from here to there is different. Not one of you have gone up that mountain the same way. Every mountain seems to be different. But when you've gotten through that point, then all of a sudden you begin to have something you can trade. And something you can trade is what you've learned how to do. Woody Searle sat down with me once when I was getting this whole thing going, and we were just selling kits up the kazoo. I think we were about $1.5 million or $2 million a year in sales. And Woody says, "Lewis, you're doing it wrong. You're still doing it wrong." And my hell, I was just flabbergasted because I was very proud of how much we had accomplished. And I thought we were just tearing up the tracks. And he says, "No, there's more money over here in what you've learned how to do." So you start out with a hobby, a thread of interest that you like, and you get good at it, and you keep doing it, then you'll get to the point over here where you have something you can trade, which is something you've now learned how to do. Tammy called today, and we have Craig and Robin's kit is finished now. And I think they posted it today on the store of Profitable Hobbies. You can go to the store and take a look at it if you'd like. It's the videos on how to carve Craig's most famous drawing. His most famous pattern is that elk pattern. And when I was out in the marketplace taking his artwork around with me, that's the one that got all the attention all the time. So this is a design where he carved the pattern in a gun stock, and then Robin has come in and enhanced the carving with her painting and her years of artistic experience. And I did the filming. I don't mind telling you, this is just scrumptious. This is one hell of a great kit. Craig's had his white-tailed deer set for a long time with the same format, which is the pattern, the video that teach you how to do it. In this case, it's two videos, one from Craig carving and one from Robin on how to painting. And then there's a study cast. The study cast helps you to see exactly what Craig has done in a plastic copy so that you can see the depth. Sometimes that's a little tricky in the beginning, is to help you learn to relieve carve better by seeing exactly what Craig has been able to do. So it's got the pattern, the study cast, and the artwork, and the videos. It's going to retail for $169.95, and it's on sale. Introductory price is $149.95. And what I'm going to do is throw one more thing into this, because I got thinking about it all afternoon. You purchase that $149 set now from Tamery, and I will schedule with you a separate personal coaching session on a half hour on how to price it and how to begin selling it. Okay? Personal session, and that will be included from me for free. So it's the kind of product that we've been known for over the years. I did 36 different videos on different subjects, one a month for 3 years, my own set, and I've had about, I guess, about 4 million in sales off that set in the years that since I've done that. Once you videotape and reproduce something you've learned how to do, if you get your marketing in position, it will sell and sell and sell and sell. There's not a product on the face of the earth with better margins than video information. Lance Larson isn't on tonight, but I'm suspecting Lance will still catch up with us and listen to this. But Lance did a little video on how to carve a couple things, and he put it up on the web. And I asked him to take it back down. And what I'm trying to do is help each of you learn what you should and can give away and what you should not give away. I've got quite a few people hovering around us or out in the marketplace who do, and they love doing video, and they'll crank things up and they'll give it away. You just post it up and let it go. And I'm going, what a waste of effort. What do you get out of it? If you give it all away, then you get not much more than the satisfaction of making the product and learning how to do it and learning how to put it up. And I'm going, no, everything in life is a trade. Everything. And you're the one that's responsible for the trade. If in my videos and my training book for Opportunity Intersection is the business plan of how to take a hobby and turn it into a business. And I hit it really hard with the perspective that when you're trading in the marketplace, the customer is here, the producer is here. And a producer that's wise will develop some kind of a trading table, a place to bargain, a place to trade that's between them and the consumer. And the trick is for the producer to learn how to trade what they've got up here on the trading table to this consumer, exchange it for something of value. If you give it away, then the value goes right through the floor. And it's partly what's wrong with a lot of things in the economy. If somebody gets something for free, the value of it goes right through the floor. It just gets trashed. And you're, as a producer, you're the one responsible for figuring out to actually make the trade happen. And I've worked really hard at trying to figure out how to enhance that trading process, because I think this is where all artists get screwed up. They have a really poor perspective of what's going on with the trade. They're a consumer, so they get over on the producer side of the table with a consuming mentality. And they try to trade from that perspective, and it's all but impossible. And you sure as hell can't pay the bills that way. So until you have the eyes of a producer and you're coming at the economy and the marketplace from the eyes of a producer, things don't work well. They just don't work well. You could sit down and be around Woody Searle or Jack Solomon for a little bit of time, length of time, and God, it just pulls the blinders off. You begin to realize how effective some people are at trading things. 90% of the public are not very good at trading. In fact, most people go clear around the mulberry bush to avoid trading. They'll do anything to avoid it because they don't like to sit down and say, This is how much it's worth. This is what I want for it. And then they say, no, it's not worth that much. No, yes, it is. That no, it's not. And that bargaining trading position of anything, goods and services, is just, that's where the rubber hits the road. That's what the economy is trading of everything. Who would dare guess how much got traded today in the world economy? How much changed hands today? How much value? And it's just almost an impossible number to even wrap your head around. It's evolved from trading clothes and food under a tree for the old hunters and gatherers to the marketplace and the world economy that we have now is absolutely phenomenal. But I guarantee you that 3 out of 100 who learn how to make and produce and trade their wares make enough money to live really well. Because there's more than enough consumers. More than enough consumers. So as we take on these next shows and this year, I'm going to hit each of them again, each of the concepts of branding, of pricing, of upscale marketing, all the subjects that a want world needs to have a handle on. We're not needs. We don't sell things that people need. Needs are market driven. People have to have that stuff, so they'll go find it. But the want world is a whole nother ballgame. And that's the place where art is always sold. And it usually is not the product. It's almost always the artist. The perception of value of the artist is what gives it that kind of value on the trading table. And so many people don't figure that out. They never even consider that. They don't realize that Mel's the ace in the deck in his products. Ron's the ace in the deck in his products. Nick is the person that produces his products. Joni is the person that produces her product. This is how it works best. And when you bother to cultivate your name and reputation, who you are and what it is you do for a living, things start to work. Can you see why, if you sign and date everything you do, how that's working? You never hear out of me not to forget doing names and dates. Because if it's a Jim Sig knife and it's been signed and dated by him, where's the value? If it's a Greg Woodard piece and it's signed and dated by Greg Woodard, Jack bought Greg Woodard's piece the second year after he won the World Championship. Jack bought his piece for $25,000, and he's got it at his place up in Park City. And almost always when you come to see us, it's the largest condominium in Deer Valley, and you come to see his place, you'll say, I got a Greg Woodard piece. You want to see it? He doesn't even say it's a Falcon. It doesn't even register. He got it because it's a Greg Woodard piece. And he loves to sit and play mind games with me now. Lou, how much do you think my piece is worth now? Because it's an early piece. It's an early piece. Greg Woodard has won the World Woodcarving Championships more times than any other one person. And he was one of our first masters. So if you'll just look at the side of saying, okay, here's where I am, but here's where I dream of being, and how can I make a pathway, a one-by-one step from here to here? It's a do-it-yourself affair. There's just no one out there who's going to come along and do it for you. As much as we would like that to happen, as much as we almost pray for that to happen, it doesn't work that way. You are the one that must do it, and you are the one that then must learn it. Now, it's no different now with Google+. I smell opportunity coming with this social media platform. I've risked the moon going in this direction because I've just eliminated everything else. I sense more utility from Google+ than all the rest, especially for us. And if exposure is the game on things that people want, how can you do a better job of it than continuously playing on Google Plus, posting and commenting and mixing with the crowd that are there, controlling your stream, learning how to keep people out and bring other people in that you want. Ron called me yesterday, I think, and suggested that Dave Ramsey, the radio guy that's on that has How to Manage Your Money, is on Google Plus, and he called and told me about it. So I went on, found Dave Ramsey, and put a plus, and now I'm following him. So every time Dave Ramsey puts something up on Google Plus, I will see it. And I suggest you guys all go do that too. And the second you do that and pull Dave Ramsey into your stream, Google's algorithms begin to take another look at you, a different slant, because everything he plays with will be of the money managing, producing kind of category, which you want. You want that slant, that perspective. Be very cautious about what you put up. These kids that'll take a picture of their afternoon sandwich or their latest puppy dog and throw it on the web for their Google Plus account is a mistake. You don't want to do this casually. You don't want to put things up that don't have anything to do with you, your name and reputation, and the kind of things that you're interested in. Because you're going to cultivate this perception. You're going to cultivate and culture what the internet thinks about you, who you are, and what it is you do. It's so interesting to watch what's happening with Ron's participation. Ron has sold his whole life, and he knows selling. He knows how to sell. It's always fun for me to hear his commentary when we're talking about those kinds of subjects, because he comes at it from a voice of experience. 99% of humanity has not sold squat. They have never sold anything. And so you try to learn to sell when you're a producer and you're going to trade with a person over here and you're going to trade some value and sell it. If you don't know what you're doing, you almost have no chance. And so to learn how to do that trading, to learn how to do that selling, Ron is gradually building this whole cloud around him of these kinds of thoughts, and these kind of comments are what help you succeed at the business of Google Plus, the social media, and learning how to sell yourself. How are you feeling about how things are going, Ron? Do you enjoy it, and do you feel like you're making some progress with it?
Yeah, originally it was getting to be a pain in the butt on Google Plus with all the notifications, until I started to just sit down and think about it and saw what other people were doing. And then, I figured, okay, this is not where people are really going to gravitate towards you immediately. And it's taken 6 months to a year, but now, because I've commented and recommented and shared with people who have been on Google Plus for years, when somebody new comes in that I post and reshare their stuff and ask them to be my friend, they immediately get back to me and put me on their list. Or I'm getting people who are adding me their list that I didn't know were adding me, and I look and see, okay, did they post, who is it, what are they doing, and then if I want, I'll add them to my list. So it's more and more, I'm increasing my followers and I'm increasing my view count. I think it went, I added 10 or 12 this week of really good quality people, some of them who have shared their posts, and my view count jumped, I think in the last few weeks, jumped 1,000 or more easily, just because I'm getting to their posting and they're seeing it, but also the people that they know are seeing it, and those people are looking at what I'm doing. And I think like
Go ahead.
Lance Larson has a big view count, and I think it's because of the community he has up. Jay
Yeah.
has a lot of viewers, over 200,000. I think it's because of his communities that he has up. My next step that I'm going to do is put up a couple communities and see
Pull that
what that
into the list.
leads to.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And is it not all of us mixing together is raising the visibility of all of us? You can't, I mean, Google automatically attaches all of us because we spend so much time together. They know that influence and they read that, and that's what they're sending and shooting back into our life. Now, if you don't sense the power of that and where that can end up for you, if you got to go out and buy the exposure for your name and reputation and your work, you don't have enough money to do that. You just flat don't. That's expensive to buy publicity and exposure. And so how else are you going to do it? If you're going to do it by free, you've got to cultivate it. And the Google Plus account is the way to cultivate that. Now, Bryant McGill, write down the name Bryant McGill, McGill. He has a company called Simple Reminders. Simple Reminders. And I want to make sure that you're getting Simple Reminders. So if you'll write down Bryant McGill, and then when the show's over, go put him into your people search part of your Google Plus account, and it'll take you right to Bryant McGill and Simple Reminders. Now, he posted an account today of the kinds of things that he does with Simple Reminders. When we first started playing on the web and doing the webinars, Bryant McGill was sending to me in my email account a daily Simple Reminder. That's where I first bumped into him. And all it is a little positive affirmation every day, but he's got a really unique way of saying it most of the time. But he has had, on one of his posts, I think it said 26 million people saw it in a few first hours it was up. 26 million views, bam. How can you measure that kind of exposure and that kind of powerhouse underneath? If we can cultivate that same strength within the I&E circle and the I&E network, think of the gift we'll hand to the next generation. Because what's happening here is we're basically figuring out how to use this tool. Yeah, it's fun to sit down and get together once or twice a week and hang out like we do. But I'm not hanging out just for the fun of it. I really am trying to figure out how this son of a gun works. Because the horsepower and the potential underneath it for individual improvement of individuals' names and reputation. If you had some products that you developed around what your expertise of experience and knowledge are, and it could be marketed and sold off a website just like Tammy's doing with Profitable Hobbies. We've got Profitable Hobbies website up. The store is up. Several $100,000 a year in sales just from that initial exposure. I've got my one little wood carving video that I did. I shot the stupid thing on a coffee table. Russell put it up, and it's coming up on 1 million views now on YouTube. It's really hard to measure how much good that does for a business concept when it's getting that kind of exposure, that kind of visibility. Now, what I'm going to do is start really zeroing on McGill's life, because I want to know why. These people that are really successful with utilizing Google+, they know what we don't know. They know what I want to know badly. And so some of them are really worth watching. Not everybody, but some of them that have what I think are like-minded interests. God, I've never seen anything like this in all my years of business. The potential underneath it is astronomical, and I'd like us to sort that out, see if we can't figure out how to make that work. Okay? Anybody got any other comments about what I've said so far tonight that you want to add to the idea?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead, Mel.
Well, you were mentioning that you wanted to see a miracle.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
because a miracle will never happen.
Okay.
And the reason I say this is definition of a miracle is when you do the same thing the same way that you've always done it and you expect a different outcome. That's a miracle.
Okay.
All decisions that you make today are laying the groundwork of your tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely.
And if you want a glorious ending to all your efforts, you have to aim your efforts toward that end.
Yeah. There's no way around that, is there?
No, it's like taking a drive from North Carolina to Salt Lake City over to LA. What's the easiest, fastest way to do that? What do? You break out a road map. Or a lot of people use Google Maps and say, I want to go here, and I want to go here, and I want to go here, and it gives you turn-by-turn directions.
Yeah, there's a few people can do that.
But then there's those of us that still know how to read a map.
Okay. And if you make a plan and go at it, you've got a lot better chance of actually getting to LA than if you wander and aim and roam around and never really have a plan. I don't think there's anything more significant that I've come up with in my time of watching other people's success. Those who succeed are really good at figuring out that map. They have a feeling where they want to go.
Even if it's just a general idea of where you want to go, you can still fly by the seat of your pants and get there.
Yeah, the more you do, the better bearing you'll get. The further you get into it. I've had a lot of people say, well, I really like the idea of carving gun stocks. So they'll start into it, but they really don't know where they're headed with it. And until they begin to start to try and market it and begin to have a little success, they can't see the real other end at all. But if they'll pursue it, if they'll continue, usually that end shows up.
Yep.
So is that how you did it?
Yeah, basically.
Absolutely.
I made a lot of crap and took it out and sold it. Well, I'm going to have to mute this because another country is being heard from.
Yeah, this is his security dog.
Yeah.
His local security services there. Debbie, when you...
Lou?
Yeah, go ahead, Ron. And I'll come back to you, Debbie.
One of the things that I'm finding out and being made aware of is that you just can't put what you're selling up on Google Plus. It's not going to work. You have to make friends with the people and get to know them, and they have to get to know you before you can even think about marketing a product to them or certain products. Maybe something else, something might go over better than other things. But that's what I'm gathering from having some chats with some people, and that's why it took so long for me to start getting these people to +1 and starting to reshare and starting to put me on their friends list. They want to see if you're for real, and they want to see what you're doing before they let you into their life, so to speak.
Absolutely. So it's a process of doing. It's a matter of one step at a time, knowing kind of where you're taking your company, your name, your reputation, your product. What kind of exposure do you think you've had so far, Deb, with the social media?
Exposure?
Yeah. Is it wider than what you would normally have?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Exposure. on Google Plus. I like because it's different people. It's not the ag business. I mean, there's such a difference between non-ag and ag that it's nice for people to see the ag stuff.
Yeah.
Not that they get it, but on Facebook, it's almost all, not all of it, but a good majority of the social media is agriculture for me, which is what I want, which is what I do. And I get requests. In fact, I got a request from a lady in Alberta, Canada, about a milk can the other day. So she hasn't said yes. She asked me, you know, if I had milk cans and can I paint one, and well, yeah. And then I said, so I told her, I said I'd have to go to the post office and find out what postage would be to Alberta, Canada. In a couple of days, if I haven't heard from her, I'll get back in touch with her and see if she is a dairy person. Maybe she comes to the National Dairy Show in Madison, Wisconsin. If I can get a milk can, I'll get it to Madison, and she can take it from there.
Yeah.
You know, so there's different ways in the dairy industry that I know people that travel, that take cattle, from places to places, and a milk can hitch a ride.
Can ride along really easily
without mailing it. But because when I first started out, I did do some local sales, advertising in a couple of the local magazines, and every now and then the local newspaper does a spring special or a winter special thing, and I would do something, and I never really got a response like I thought I would get. So it's not what kind of art I do. The general population isn't into that. Like my husband says, a lot of people are the Walmart mentality.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Now, everything that Walmart sells is a need.
Yeah.
Everything. And what you're playing with is a serious want.
Yep.
No one's going to buy your artwork, especially yours, unless they want it. They see some connection. Now, what I maintain is what's going on with social media. They are mixing with the entire world population that play on the web, and they will sort that out for you. So the ag person is something they read, something they understand, something they know, and all you got to do is continue to do more of what you're doing. And Google and Facebook, both, all the social media platforms, they're sorting that out because it's like-minded interests. Just can't not notice that. That's what's going on. That's why things show up that are what you like often in your personal streams, is because the algorithms are matching you with the other people that are also playing on these mediums, these platforms. So it behooves all of us to get better at it. Just literally do your homework. Cut some time out of your life. Quit watching one of your soap opera shows and get your butt over on Facebook and Google Plus and do more. And don't just scan. Don't just go down and plop a +1 once in a while. Learn how to post. Learn how to compose. Learn. We can teach each other what kinds of things would help us build a really great post of a quote that's ours. You should all be using Canva. C-A-N-V-A. That's Guy Kawasaki and Peck Fitzpatrick's design software, design app. And it's damn near free. It's just almost no cost whatsoever. But it's a slam dunk to develop your own slide, your own graphic that you want then to post up over on the web. And so when you're trying to do a little better job of it and upgrade your look, upgrade your image, get the Canva app and go figure out, learn how to use it, and then start posting graphics. You'll see constantly in the stream comments that you get 70–80% better reaction because there's something attractive there for people to look at. And so up the ante here. Figure out what kinds of things help sell your concept. What kinds of words help sell your name and reputation. If you could pick out a 100-word list, what 100 words would best describe you and what it is you do? You see that? How important that would be to develop that? What are the top 100 words? And then wouldn't you want to feature those words in your sayings and your quotes and your posts as often as you possibly can. And that's called search engine optimization. You're putting words into it. Learning how to put a hashtag in front of these words to help enhance it even more is an extremely good idea. If you don't know how to do hashtags, go over onto YouTube and pick up there's going to be 5,000 videos on why hashtags work and how to use them. Okay, and so as we all learn each of these tactics, these concepts that help us get better and better at it, what we're doing is promoting each other, which is what I'm mostly interested in, and elevating everyone's name and reputation at the same time. And then developing and culturing your own career. Because if you don't maintain it and watch it and guard it and grow it, no one else will. Guarantee it. Just is not likely to happen.
I got a question.
Yeah, Ed.
Today I kind of upgraded my profile.
Okay.
With a picture that somebody sent me. But I also filled out some stuff. But my question is, do I, on a lot of that stuff, if you want to share it with your circle, with your friends, or with the public? Now, how much of that should I share with the public versus my circle, which is, I think, the leading one that I'm doing is sharing it with my circle.
Just as much won't get you arrested.
Yeah, it depends on what you've included. He said just as much as won't get you arrested. So
well, no,
it depends on what you put in that profile. I can't see that anything in your profile would be a problem for you with the public knowing about it. So I suggest you open it up to everyone, including the public. Any other comment?
What about like your home telephone number and your address? That kind of stuff?
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't open up your name. You need to contact. Having an email is a pretty safe way to do that. Just put your email in there, but take your phone number out. Just delete it.
Okay.
Emails and websites.
I don't think you've got a website yet, do you, Ed?
No, but there was funny you should mention that. There was a prompt from Google saying something about I qualified for a URL, and they wanted to know if I wanted to proceed with that. And because I didn't know for sure what that was, I thought I'd better wait till a group tonight to ask.
Yeah, don't do that yet. Because when you do the URL, we want to put the name in right. I wanted to have it the Ed Able Studio. So wait, and I'll consult with you a little bit, because what we're going to do is target you first at this as a thank you marketing specialist. That's what I sent the paperwork for you today. The thank you business really is appealing to these upper end fundraisers because they've usually not thought about it, and yet they really do have a need for it. And there's a couple of lines I use when I first get to meet them that just stab them right through the heart. And then from that moment forward, they're going to need to be able to reach you at the Ed Able Studio, and that's then will be the website we want to have up.
Okay, I'll just wait for you to get with me on that later.
Yeah. No, the constant working with your profile, though, Ed, is if you'll go over and hit your face and pull it up, your profile, and read it. Try and read it from the perspective of someone who doesn't know you from Adam. The first thing everybody does when they see something and they're wondering about you is hover over your profile and bring that up. And if it doesn't look overly appealing, they just go on. They just don't interact with you at all. And so we've got to gradually improve everyone's position. Watch other profiles that you like. When you see a profile of a picture that's really easy for you to identify and really easy for you to remember, that's then what you should try and start developing as a picture and a graphic of you. Because facial recognition now is getting to be extremely hot software. They can pick your face up on anywhere in the world and identify you as Ed Ables and then draw you into this whole perspective. So the profile is a constant, ongoing grooming kind of effort. You really need to, and all you do is watch what others are doing. If somebody's got a really strong profile, and they've got a huge number of followers and an incredible number of viewers, that's who you should then be watching and paying attention to, because they know what they're doing. They've got it figured out. Okay? Good. That's good news.
Good.
That's good news. That no one in our circle should play with a blue man up. If you got a blue man as your profile, we've got to get that fixed now. And I want a smiling face. I would like your face to be attractive and smiling and happy and inviting. If you got a sour puss on your profile, let's fix that, okay? All of you take a look. Yeah, Mel. Take a look at Jose Valencia's. Jose and I went through about, well, you guys all helped with that little ordeal, but we went through about 35 different profile pictures, and I kept bugging him and bugging him and bugging him to take some more and take some more and take some more until he had the perfect one. Because it's the first thing. It's your business card. That profile card is your entire social media platform business card. It's got to be as good as you could possibly get it. So we'll work on that and see if we can enhance that as well, okay? Any other comments?
Yeah, the other thing, Lou, is if you have the profile picture you want on Google Plus and you're on Facebook, put the same profile picture on the other.
Yeah, on the other format.
On Facebook, LinkedIn, so that when people look at it, they say, oh yeah, I know that guy from Google Plus, or I know that guy from Facebook. You want to keep your picture the same on all the formats.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what makes it begin to multiply. I mean, I can't see any reason doing all this if you're not going to make it grow. If you're not paying enough attention to it to make it grow, then why bother? It has so much potential when we start combining all this too. That's what I'm most interested in doing. All right, troops, I've covered all I want. Anybody else got some comments, Michael?
Yes, Dr. Lou, I want to make a request for the panel and everybody that's watching. I'm going to make a post tomorrow. It is not going to be about me. And my request is that everybody that sees the post that likes it, reshare it, because it is not going to be about me. So that's my request. You'll find out what it's going to be tomorrow, but it is going to be a very important post. If you like it, please reshare it, because I've only got like 103 people on my friends list, and I know all of you have way more people than me, so it can just go, what do you call it? What do they call that?
Viral. Go viral.
Viral. Yeah. So it could go viral if people like it, and it's just going to be a very important post.
Okay. Now, when you do something like this, Mike, the one thing you have to realize is that what you're trying to do is be appealing to the general public. And sometimes we do the best we can and it isn't appealing. They don't react to it like we wish they would. But what you do is keep then coming back to it. Change it, fix it, twerk it, work it. Learn from the reaction you get tomorrow. Because you know all of us will. All of us will shove it. But we're not enough yet of a group to make it viral. Not yet. It has to appeal to a lot wider circle than just us. So let's see. We'll see how it rolls out. All you can do is try.
Yes, it is. And Dr. Lou, you have my phone number. If you want to give me a call after the show, I will tell you about what I want to do, because it also deals with profitable hobbies.
Okay. All right. Good idea. All right. Anybody else got anything they want to throw on the table tonight? Jay, you've been really quiet all night. Are you sick?
His mic's been turned off. He doesn't know where the on button is.
It's really. He's had, what was it, too much brandy already tonight for his cough medicine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been
He
a
used to
very,
shine.
very long day. I've been up since about 2:30 this morning, so it's just been a very long day.
Yuck. All right. Well, we probably woke you up then. Sorry. We'll just let you go back to sleep, and we'll finish it from there. I appreciate all your participation, and I love the fact that you take your precious time and come and sit down. Those of you that are doing and participating are the only ones that have a chance of learning and changing things. What Mel said tonight is if you keep doing the same old thing, and you're going to get the same old results no matter what your expectations are. And so the whole idea here is to change each of us, to improve, constantly look at our circumstances, see if there isn't a way we can basically move things up from there. And I think the fact that we'll get together like this and share our ideas and our thoughts are what's really, really helpful. Okay? Appreciate you coming, Jay boy. We got a really big check today from the Veterans Administration to help train Doug McPherson some more.
Cool.
So we're moving more and more and more in that direction, gang. And if that begins to be a thing,
How do you do
for
that? Somebody needs to tell me.
it has been a son of a bitch. I don't mind telling you. It's extremely difficult to get that in place. But we have. They've dropped about $25,000 on Doug McPherson now. So what we want to try and do is say, how can we get that so that Ed can take advantage of, so somebody else can? Because I don't know how you requested and actually. Doug hit their door for 4 years.
You got to go through the Veterans Rehab Resources Department.
Yeah, I went there and I got shot down big time.
A lot of process.
You keep hammering at them.
It feels to me like it depends on who you get as a counselor.
Yep.
It does.
Right.
It's the whole luck of the draw. If you get a counselor that wants to help you, you'll get the moon. If they don't want to help you, then
you get shot down, get your congressman involved.
Now, my quick question, Dr. Lou, is that app you were talking about, is that Canva, C-A-N, Victor, A?
Yeah, Canva.
Or Canva.
Canva, B. B is in Victor.
C-A-N-V-A.
Yeah. Canva.com. Canva.com, and it'll come right up for you. And it's wonderful. It's as slick as can be, and they'll charge you $1 or $2 sometimes for what you select, and the rest is free. But it's really reasonable, and it's good. I've done a dozen of them now, and they're just perfect. I love it. Okay?
Okay. I'll check that out.
All right, gang. Appreciate all of you coming. Thanks for sitting down with us. It's been fun, as always. Make yourself a goal, a checklist of what you're going to get done from now till next Wednesday night. Please put more time in on Google+. Spend a little more time and participate a little more. Be flexible about what you're looking at and doing, and particularly supportive of our gang. That's really important. Okay?
Yeah, you got to be flexible so whatever Murphy throws at you, you can dance around.
I can't dance.
well, then walk.
Some more words of wisdom from Mel Jones.
I guarantee you, every time I go to a bike rally, Murphy throws something at me. So
isn't that true? That's public retailing. If you don't have the kind of nature, that's what's so fun about taking Keith home with me, is I've never met anybody that could roll with the punches like him. Because then when you're selling to the public, you've got to be able to really, really adjust on the fly. And a lot of people, that rattles their cage so bad they can't even contribute. But not Mr. Holmes. He is one steady rock, that man. All right, guys. See you later. Appreciate you coming. Good night.
Mr. Holmes